What were your tips that you gave to John Bullock in hiring that you also shared in NFIB?
Well, my thinking is this. Fortunately, not people are created equal. There are some people that are excellent selling NFIB, and there's some people that wouldn't. I'll give an example. I had a wonderful brother-in-law who was an engineer and a scientist. Andy was his name. He couldn't sell NFIB. He wouldn't have wanted to sell NFIB, and I couldn't have done his job because I would have been bored to death. So everybody's different. But those that like to sell or can sell, they have to believe in the idea. They have to have thick skin. Let's face it, because a lot of people will say no, and they have to persevere, and let's face it, they also need money. Some of the more successful people that I had working, I used to make it a habit after we were out in field for a little while. I would just say, "Hey, Lynn, or whatever I might say, what motivates you?" I probably real fast. And she said, "Money." Boy, I knew that one's going to be a good one. so it's a combination, but basically the most important thing is they have to enjoy it. And I have always stressed in my bulletins that have fun. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, go do work something else. Mm-hmm. Now, I would advise division managers not to hang on desperately to people that are very mediocre, because they're going to fall out by the wayside anyway. Concentrate on the good people, retrain them, keep them up, keep their morale up, go to field with them, because they are the ones that become solid. People like Al Fiker, who at one time was a top producer.
How did you help the Canadian Federation of Independent Business in their early years to get them started?
I told them that the main thing, the main mistakes that they were making at the beginning.
They weren't doing well at the beginning.
No, they were not doing. They weren't doing well. Although it was pretty easy to sell in Canada, even though I knew nothing about Canadian laws.
So you knew nothing about the laws.
I knew nothing.
So what were the mistakes that you shared with them?
The mistake was that they would hold a hiring campaign. They would hire 20 people, gave them the kit and say, "Go and see if you can sell." And of course, 20 of them went by the wayside. I said, "Don't do that. Hire 2 or 3 that really show potential, and then work with them. But don't ever hire a guy and toss him, what I used to call toss him to the wolves." You see, if you have a good guy, you retrain him. Not the following week, he's on his own. The following week, spend a couple days with him. And then he's show potential, spend a couple days. Because you see, these people, two things happen to a newly hired guy, even though he is good. You teach him, you show him sales. Next week he's doing great. Next week, if you don't go with him, he's going to do a little less. And then he's going to do a little less. For two things. Either he's losing interest, or he's getting more involved in the federation. Now that's the second danger, because then he wants to tell everybody, he's so enthusiastic that he wants to tell everybody everything about NFIB.
What's the matter with that?
The matter with that is that a human mind will only comprehend little. You're going to sell if you go bang, 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 and you're not going to sell, with a few exceptions, if you spend an hour with the guy. I say, well, I don't know, because he's confused. He's not going to buy because he's confused.
How long would you typically want to spend with someone?
Well, if I can spend 1 minute and get the money, but I would want to spend 15 minutes. That's too long.
You focused on the top end of the business and focused on developing your best potential people, and didn't. After a while, you realized that the average person wasn't going to get us to where we needed.
Always concentrated on the top people rather than the very mediocre, because then you find out that the guy claims that he can only sell, I can only sell 4 or 5 memberships. So you go with him and you find out what goes on. After you find out that he's only doing this a part-time, so goodbye.
Mm-hmm.